That's lovely. Hey guys, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here, hello.
Right, before we get into it, housekeeping.
Oh yes.
Let's do that. We have some lovely new headwear.
Oh, what a tasty beverage this is as well, Dan. Go. Okay, so www. No, you don't say www.
No, you don't.
Thatpedalshowstore.com. We have a range of merchandise available, which we use sell to help fund the show. If you'd like to buy a beanie hat, which fits nicely over Dan's glasses, a mug, or varying t-shirts and other things. New t-shirt this. Please go there. Thank you very much. Secondly,
Patreon guys, thank you so much to everyone that's gone to Patreon and that has donated some money. It helps us shoot out the video, which is brilliant. So thank you guys so much. And we will be doing something special for our patrons.
We absolutely
very
will.
soon.
Yes, thank you very much. And exclusive preferred retailers in the US, that's Rift City Music. You can see them here. They have a fine selection of wares. And also Anderton's Music in Guildford. You can see them here, displayed vertically like this. Hello to Lee and the guys over at Anderton's.
Good people.
Good people.
Good people
all round.
Yep.
Right.
Do I have had hair?
A little bit. A little bit.
Okay. Right, so...
I'm getting a bit longer up here. What does he say in Spinal Tap? I'm getting a bit shaggy back here myself. I'm just kidding.
I better not stand too close to you. They'll confuse me for another band.
That's it.
I'm kidding, of course.
Oh, terrible misquotes of Spinal Tap. Right, okay. So... How have we got here? You can tell by the title of the video that this is about the question of using your amps effects loop for boosts and drives and how that kind of works. And it's come about, I've got interested in this after we met Simon Jarrett from Kingsley Amplifiers. So if you... Where's she gone? There she is! If you...
Hey Simon, if you're watching.
Hello Simon. Simon came in and played awesome guitar.
Oh man, if you haven't seen that episode, go and check it out.
Yeah, Simon Jarrett from Kingsley Amplifiers.
What a great guitar player.
I was really taken by the sounds that day because he brought in some valve overdrives and preamp pedals, that some of which you can see on the board here. And there was a level of kind of... I keep using the phrase dynamic range, but there just seems to be a level of fidelity and dynamics and openness and...
It just connected with you. It really connected with you.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
And so I started on this journey to trying to get a bit more of that into my own sound. And I've always been a bit of a fan of the Dumble thing, simply because a lot of the guys I like use Dumble amplifiers. John Mayer.
You got to play a Dumble recently, didn't you?
I did get to play a Dumble recently, which was a very enlightening and interesting experience. Made me realise I've got another 25 years of playing the guitar to do before I can...
Just quickly,
Yeah.
in a nutshell, so all the Dumble clones we've played,
Yeah.
what's the big difference between the real Dumble?
The closest thing I've ever played to it was probably the most Dumbly 2 Rock.
Right.
The Fuchs was quite like it on the Overdrive channel, but much less so on the Clean channel. But anyway, this is one Dumble out of many, so let's not draw any conclusions from that.
They're all different, aren't they?
What I will say, well, they definitely have a familial. Apparently, they have a familial. You know it's
Sure. Okay.
from him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so was it the best amplifier I've ever played in the world? Maybe.
Right.
It was unique.
Right.
It had a very unique way in which it sustained notes, in which the kind of overall envelope of the sound was massive. It was completely overdriven but very clean.
Wow.
In terms of clarity.
Right.
Which is not to say it's this like mythical beast that's just, makes me want to go into a corner and cry and never play another amp again. Not like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a very different experience, and something that, I quite like.
Yeah.
So, the point of all that is, why might you want to run an overdrive or a boost into your effects loop?
Mm-hmm.
One, bypass the front end of the amp.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're using a rented backline and they give you an amp that's maybe not to your usual taste. Let's say you normally play Fender style amps and they give you a Marshall DSL 50.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got most of your sounds happening on the pedal board, you could plug into the effects loop return and just hit the power amp of the amp.
Mm-hmm.
get rid of the front end of the amp completely.
Right.
And secondly, more prosaically, you might want to use a boost in the loop just to give you a bit of a solo boost. So we're going to... Dan and I have never really sort of gone down this road before.
No.
So, and Dan's a little bit sceptical, aren't you?
No, I'm not sceptical. I think it'll be really interesting. So what we're doing, we're going to bypass the front end of the amp eventually.
Yeah.
Have a listen to these going straight to the front.
Yeah.
Then we're going to plug them directly into the effects loop return. Now what that does, for you guys that don't know, an effects loop is a little insert point between the preamp or the amplifier and the power amp. So your little signal goes into the preamp. The preamp amplifies that signal to a point where the power amp can amplify it to go out to the amp transformer that goes to the speakers. Now the effects loop is a little junction between the preamp and the power amp. So what we're going to do, we're going to hear these pedals into the preamp first, which then goes into the power amp, but then we're going to bypass the preamp and go straight into the power amp.
Yeah.
Because these are, in effect, their own preamp.
We'll come to that in a bit. So you'll see we've got 2 pages here. This page is a boost.
That's right.
Exactly as it says, tube boost. Essentially a boost pedal that can sit on your pedal board. They can all sit on your pedal board, by the way. Whereas these two are slightly more preampy. This is the Page DS.
Mm-hmm.
And is designed more so to hit the effects return or go straight into a power amplifier, as is this. We will come to that in a bit. What amps we're using today, Dan?
Okay, we have the Hamstead Artist 20 RT and we have the Two-Rock Studio Pro 35.
Both of which have pretty good effects loops. And let's just say here, not all effects loops are created equal.
No, they are not.
No. So anyway, we'll get to that. Right, where shall we begin? What you heard there at the beginning was me chumming away into the front end of the amps.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, let's hear what we've got on the board today.
Okay, so here's our bypass sound straight into the 2 amplifiers. I mean, it's great that these are, really
Plenty of dynamic range and headroom.
I mean,
there,
they're 2 fantastic amplifiers. So, the Maiden. Tell me a little about the Maiden. This is the Maiden into the front of the 2. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so
I'm really taken with this.
It's a pretty clean preamp. Simon does another pedal called the Squire, and I don't think you have one.
No, I do.
Don't think you'd have one. Simon does a preamp pedal called a Squire, which in its various forms you can get in kind of Fendery, Voxy, and Dumberly type incarnations. The Maiden is the same as that, except it adds a volume and a master, so you can push the gain a bit more.
I've got the Minstrel.
You got the Minstrel, yeah. And 3-band EQ, so it's more like the clean channel amplifier. So this is really designed to hit the power amp of your amp. But if you just play for a sec, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just give me some reverb a sec.
It's beautiful.
It's a very, very lovely, clean,
Oh man.
clean preamp. Now, so you can hit that in the front, as it were, with this. Oh, we're on 5, are we?
Yep.
It might get loud, I'll just check it. So you can hit the Maiden with a boost.
Yep.
By the way, this is not how it's designed to be used, but anyway.
Sorry.
This probably sounds better with that guitar, actually.
Wow. So immediately, you know what I get from that? It's that sound that's so revealing that as soon as you come a cropper, as I often do, it's like, oops,
Yeah.
everyone heard that down the street, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of pedals that have a lot of gain and sort of compress in a certain way, you can fluff a bit, but there's no escaping from that.
I would say it sounds much more ampy because the revealing nature of the EQ and the amount of headroom you've got there to play with. A lot of overdrive pedals can shut things down, which is great in certain circumstances because it makes it all chewy and everything. Not really anywhere to hide there.
No.
So let's just compare that with, we've got a Commodore Garden TC Spark here. Which one's that on, Dan?
Okay, so if we go to the Spark, that's in 12.
Okay, so we'll hit the Maiden with the Spark. So here's the Maiden.
And then there's the Page. A lot of bottom end of the Spark. It's really nice.
Yeah, we used it for the last video we did. But so obviously you hear the difference between a straight boost and a boost that's got a gain stage in it with the EQ. So just moving on from there very quickly, the other Page is the Page DS, which is a Dumble voiced second channel.
Right.
So we'll get to the point in a second. When you use the Maiden, which is a D style clean preamp, and the Page together, that's where you've got your two channels of Dumble style.
Because the Dumble thing, it's not two separate channels. The
Right.
overdrive channel is running into the clean channel.
Exactly. So we'll just do that quickly. Again, I'll just reiterate that they're not really designed to be used into the front end of the amp like this, but you can, as we're about to find out, you can absolutely do that. So here's the Maiden. And then if you switch the Page DS on.
With it?
Yep.
That is lush.
Where have we got the lows there? So
in the middle.
if we roll some lows off,
Okay.
yeah, and roll some highs off,
Okay.
give it a bit of that.
Now let me just go to the top end a bit
Yep.
more. I would need a little bit more of that zing in the top end.
Yeah.
And then totally open as this. That's such a unique sound.
If you play a semitone out, it really does sound like jazz.
Just loves humbuckers. Okay, all right.
So before, when I said we were rolling off bass, we weren't. We were adding bass.
Okay.
We were going the wrong way. So apologies for that. Right. Okay. So we're about God knows how many minutes in, and we haven't done anything on effects loops yet. So you've got used to the sound into the front of the amps. We're now going to unplug from the front of the amps and plug into the loop return. Now this is interesting. I'll do this, mate.
Okay.
So I'll do the 2-rock first. So if you just give me, just play the 2 amps a sec, Dan. Just clean.
Clean.
I've turned the Hamstead off just so you can hear. Right, so now I'm going to unplug from the input of the 2-rock, plug into the effects loop return. Right. Now, interesting experiment number 1.
So this is without any pedals?
Nothing, yeah. So there's absolutely nothing there. And just to prove that these controls do nothing, so every control on the amp is completely disabled but for 3. The reverb and the effects loop return on the back.
Right.
Which in this case also has a pull bright function. So if you've ever wondered what an electric guitar plugged straight into the power amp of an electric guitar amp sounds like that. Now Dan, do me a favour, step on the Maiden. So what we've done there is we've just replaced the 2-rock's front end with the Maiden. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, we'll do that exact same thing. Just going to turn the 2-rock down for a sec. We're going to do that exact same thing on the Hamstead. So give us... Oh,
Yep,
turn the Maiden off.
Turn the Maiden off.
There you go, here's the Hamstead. Okay. We'll go straight into the effects loop return. Nothing in the front. So in the Hamstead, it's more or less the same story.
Yep.
Everything is defeated, including the reverb seems to be almost off.
Yep.
The tremolo is still operational, but not in the same way. The master still works. So, step on the Maiden. Okay, so now we're not hitting either front end of either amp. We're
Right.
just going straight into the effects loop return. And what you hear is this being our primary preamp, if you
Yep.
like. So
Yep.
this is essentially becoming the clean channel for both amps. And as you can hear, there's quite a lot in it. Do it again. It'll never be in tune again. So apologies for looking at my back for the whole time there, but so there we go. We've removed the front end of the amp. So now I guess we'll just stack up the pedals like we did before and see what we think. See how it sounds and
Well, so that was the Maiden. This is
I don't know what you. I mean, just listening to it there, what it seems to me is that there seems to be a tremendous amount of EQ possibility in some respects more than there is in the amp itself. Plus, huge amount of level on tap, which is one reason why the Maiden absolutely can work on a regular pedal board. But you heard how low it was just hitting the effects loop return of the amp. There's no level there at all. It needs to be hit somewhat hard. So there's, I think, as with most of Simon's pedals, there's a huge amount of level in them. Yep. And it's a valve, obviously, so
yeah, these are proper valve.
Running
Lovelies.
at proper voltages as well, aren't they?
Yep. So this is that was the Maiden. This is the Maiden to the page. Yeah, man.
And so just to remind you,
That's special.
it's a different experience, isn't it?
It really is.
I think it's a different experience. And like I say, why would you want to bypass the front end of your lovely, beautiful, expensive amp? You probably wouldn't. But if you're using an amp you're not familiar with, or let's say you've got an amp that you kind of quite like.
If you're flying and you're hiring amplifiers.
Yeah. One thing I do want to do, we don't have one, is try this in a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe.
Okay.
Kind of amp that everyone's
we'll
got.
do that. Yeah, of course.
You know, it's 800 or 900 quid. Not everyone wants to spend £2,000 on what it would cost you to upgrade from there.
And if you're flying, you're more than likely going to have one of those at the venue, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a Marshall DSL 50. You know, kind of really good amps, but amps that might be just made into something else by giving it this treatment.
Sure.
Plus, of course, it's all on your pedalboard. So what was that? That was Maiden into the page?
Yep. Which is 4.
Maybe a bit drivey. Probably a bit trebly.
That is awesome.
It's a really the only way I can describe it is that it is a really real visceral everything there guitar sound.
Yeah. That's the one. It's really bringing something different out of this guitar.
It's not a huge amount of there's not a massive amount of gain there.
No, but the clarity and
that is what I would. I mean, this doesn't sound exactly like that Dumble I played.
Yeah.
But it does. It's in a very similar part of the experience where there's plenty of gain there, but it's not masking and killing everything.
No, there is compression, but there's still dynamics.
Yeah.
There's but the clarity.
And my personal opinion is that you can get more of that out of using these kind of high headroom, high voltage type valve pedals into the effects return than you can out of smashing the front end with a really gainy pedal.
Yeah.
Well, if that's what you want, because
yeah.
that can be a great thing too, just before you turn that off. Sorry, I'm really struggling with that.
Everyone in the room is going to hear that. Wowie von wow.
There's no hiding, is there?
There's no.
Yeah, I was having a little switcheroo there. I was just trying to find the optimum balance of. There was quite a lot of bass, and I wanted to get rid of some of that.
Right.
But also have it articulate enough. So what you will see between the interaction of the two pedals is there's a huge amount of scope.
Right.
So okay, I think we've kind of made the point that you can definitely run boosts that are designed to do so, boosts and drives and preamps into the effects return of an amplifier. Bearing in mind that not all effects loops are the same, but seems to work pretty well into both of these particular amps. So now the question everyone's going is, well, can you use a normal overdrive and boost into the effects return of an amp? So we've got TC Spark, Free the Tone Heat Blaster, which is one of my favourite high gain type rock overdrives, and a Jan Ray. So why don't we just spend a second or two? It might be that we need to use this as well.
Okay.
Because presumably all these are.
Well, we're going to try. Okay, we'll try it without it, and then we'll try it with the Maiden. Okay.
So here we are, just into the effects loop return of both amps.
Yep. It's like a big sponge has just been put over everything. So just have some of that.
Yeah, because the guitar's not being given any preamplifier.
That's right.
Let's just remind everyone what it sounds like with the Maiden.
Beautiful. Okay, so this is the Spark without the Maiden.
Nothing wrong with that.
Killer.
And also just to say that if you are running into the front of your amp like 99% of us do 99% of the time, there's no reason why you can't put something like a Spark in your loop, to give you a bit of a boost. That would work.
Okay, so this is the
Free the Tone.
Free the Tone by itself. Okay, Jan Ray by itself.
And just for turn the Jan Ray off and page DS on.
So Jan Ray off.
Yeah.
Page DS on by itself.
No, with the Maiden. To be fair, it's quite a bit louder, so. Now the Jan Ray and the Maiden.
Jan Ray and the Maiden. That is incredible. So that you can have pedals that are actually preamps, and you get that proper preamp amplifier tone. But then, you can add all your. So go back to that sound. Awesome. That is awesome.
Isn't it good?
Man, I love that.
Yeah. I think it's to my ears anyway, it's offering a level of clarity and dynamic range, or I keep saying dynamic range, it's probably not what I mean. It offers a range of clarity and fidelity and what I refer to as dynamics under your fingers, i.e. the inspiration to play.
So yeah, it's that combination of the clarity, but you can hear the guitar.
Yeah.
You can even with all that gain, you can so clearly hear the difference between the guitars. Mm. It's very revealing. Mm. So I can see why, the conversations that we've had about Dumble style amplifiers, about how you get to a certain level in your playing where they become more appropriate. And it's certainly true with this.
That is a very diplomatic way to put it.
Well, yeah.
I came back from playing the Dumble feeling a bit depressed because it just didn't make me. Everything that's wrong came out loud and clear. But a couple of weeks in, I'd have been all right if I could have found that to buy it. But I think this is a step in that direction.
Definitely.
And I think if you matched it up with a certain, because the other reason I wanted to do this today was everyone has got an increasing problem with volume.
Yes, of course.
And so I can see a future where, this is nothing new, right? Playing a guitar into a preamp, into a power amp, into a speaker cabinet is nothing new. It happened back in the 80s. Right. We had huge racks of gear.
Yeah.
But here we go. Imagine you turn up to your gig with this. Let's just say, for example, you had a nice little valve power amp. Maybe sat on a nice little cabinet. I don't know. Maybe there's a better way to do that. Maybe the cabinet, maybe the power amp's built into the. Maybe there's a solid state power amp that could do it. I don't know.
Ew.
I know. Let's not go there. But you don't want to carry around a massive heavy amp, but you still want great tones. You want fidelity. You want clarity. You want all those things. I think this is something worth.
Definitely. Look, I love the idea that you can get your tone with this and then turn up everywhere. Yeah, look, on the rider, I've specified a vintage Fender Tone Master and a two rock. Yeah, here's your blues DeVille. Thank you.
Yep.
Plug effects per turn.
Which is not to say that that any of those amps don't sound great. It's not to say that a Blues DeVille or a DSL 50 doesn't sound fantastic, but what they do sound is
their own thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what it gives you is a slightly increased level of control at your end.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. That's been fascinating.
I'm pleased we've got to do it. I've done it. I deliberately waited to do it at volume.
Yeah.
To actually do it for the first time and kind of get Dan's reaction as well. So.
I need to have a rethink.
Yeah.
I am loving that.
Yeah.
Absolutely loving that.
And I also think it was equally good for clean and dirty sounds.
Definitely. That Maiden has...
Yeah.
Well, the Maiden is the only one on there that's not mine. And the only one that I need to have to now add to my thing. I just... The three of those, the combination of those three together, it just gives you something that is so removed from anything else that I've got.
Yeah.
I love that. I really do.
And we'll just say again before you put in the comments, this is not new. It's absolutely not new. People have been running preamps into power amps, ever since they were invented. But for us, it's kind of new, and in this format, it's new. So
yeah, very cool.
That's why we've gone there.
That was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. And we will see you next week. Cheers, guys. Bye.